Don't mind me sneakily editing the announcements there. I just realized I had a typo. We're going to get started very shortly. I have a button pressed on this end where it supposedly will make the delay between you and me a lot faster. So if something happens with the stream and it's like choppy or it buffers a lot, let me know so I can toggle that back. I'll have to take the stream down and put it back up. I'm sort of testing it today to see if it works. But we'll get started very shortly. Which is why I accidentally killed the music. Sorry. Alright, yeah, so I have an option to check ultra-low latency, so I've been avoiding it because it says that there are restrictions and it can cause high buffering, because it's trying to just send data so quickly. I checked that today. I don't stream in 4K because, quite frankly, you don't need my slides in 4K. And it seemed to work okay for the first class. I don't know if that's just going to be a forever thing that I keep doing. But as long as it seems to work and nobody has any problems, I will keep hitting that button. So let me know if there are any issues on your end, like, oh, it's buffering like crazy, or oh, it just got fuzzy, or something like that. And I can try and resolve that next time we have a session. So what are we doing tonight? Tonight we are going to talk about the laboratory. This is the lab. Oh, this is the announcements page, actually, because I was making an announcement. We're going to talk about what you need to do to access lab number 2. What specifically you want to do in that assignment. And then we will cover anything that you want to do about lab 1, anything that would be like a practice problem. The only thing I can't address would be specifically quiz questions, because I can't answer anything on the quiz. So if you ask me, like, oh, which of these is a homogeneous mixture, I'll be like, I don't know, I can't tell you. Because I'm testing you on that, and that's due tonight, by the way. So make sure you check the announcements at the bottom. Quiz 1 is due tonight. Make sure you have both attempts in. Both attempts need to be completed by the deadline for them to count. And then I take the higher of your scores. Lab worksheet number 1 is due tomorrow. Make sure to get that in on time, too. Let's get started by clicking on the Modules tab. And if you scroll all the way down to where the lab stuff is, I went too far. You'll see that Lab Worksheet 2 has appeared. And if you click on each of these links, they will lead to other pages that will contain the content that you need. So there's a worksheet. Just like last time, there's documentation that you can download and read through it. There's going to be a bunch of links in this video, but I've also provided those links on the modules page right here. So this right here, this link, videos for Lab Worksheet 2. And when you click on that, it leads you to this page, which has 4 videos that I'm going to have you watch. We're not going to actually watch these videos today because I think one of them might get a copyright strike on this page if I actually hit play. You're going to watch a Pharaoh Serpent reaction, which you can kind of see going on right here. You're going to watch the electrolysis of water, how aluminum cans are made, and then a video by an amateur scientist about resting. When you have watched all of those videos, you'll be able to answer these questions. And actually, let me get this on another page because it's bigger this way. So this is Lab Worksheet number 2. Lab Worksheet number 2 is entirely observations and critical thinking. And so what you're going to do is you're going to watch the videos and then answer the questions based on those videos. And so I've numbered them video number 1, which should correspond with whatever video number 1 is in the worksheet, which is this one. Video number 1 is the mercury subthiocyanate. This right here is the title. Yeah, it's in Italian. It just happened to be the video I got. The page is blurring. Click on... Let me see here if I can... Let me just click on a video here, and I'll show you what you need to do for that. So down here in the bottom corner, where it says Settings, if you click on Settings and where it says Quality, choose the highest quality that you can get. And that should fix that issue. But if it keeps persisting, let me know. Back to this guy. There we go. So you're going to answer these questions. Remember that when you answer a question, you need to not only write in complete sentences, but you also need to defend your answer somewhat. So if I say, give evidence that a chemical change has occurred, don't just say, oh, it turned blue. Say, be more descriptive than that, and then explain why that's a chemical change. So always try and answer why with your question. The other thing to note is that you don't want to write too much. If you go outside of the boundaries of these boxes that I have prepared for you, then you're writing too much, okay? Make sure that you are keeping your answer in the boxes. Some questions will require you to give timestamps. So during the How It's Made video, I want you to record at what time you saw a factoid that you wanted to write down. And you just answer all these questions. I've also put the point values of these questions on the side. That's more or less for me, just so I know how much they're worth when I'm grading them. Probably the most important thing. When you are finished with all these questions on this page, if you go all the way to the bottom where you see my cursor is down here, there's a tab. There's a tab with more questions, but there's only 4 of them. Make sure that you know that the tabs are here and they have different questions on them and that you answer all of them, okay? This keeps going. It goes up to 15, okay? These are analysis questions that you want to go back and do. People are still getting buffering screens. Let me try this. So I'm going to take the stream down for just a second. Actually, okay, so if you're buffering, try refreshing. Yeah, if a bunch of people are doing okay, then that's good. Hit refresh on your browser, and it should reload the stream. That might help. Okay, I won't take the stream down then. If it sounds like most people are okay. Other than that, the laboratory is pretty straightforward. This is a chemical and physical properties lab. So you're going to be looking for evidence that chemistry has happened and evidence that you are doing physics. And some videos will do one, some will do the other, and some will do both. Just watch the videos and take notes and then answer the questions. I would personally read the questions before watching the video so you know what to look for. For video number 1, it's pretty obvious. Look for a chemical change, and that's going to be really obvious. But the second question requires a little bit more thought. And so reading that question might help you figure that out when you were watching the video. Okay, that's all I got. That's worksheet 2. Worksheet 2. If you have any other questions about worksheet 2, please let me know. You can type anything in the comments right now. Otherwise, we can talk a little bit more about worksheet 1, which is due tomorrow. If you have questions about worksheet 1, go ahead and type them in the chat. I'll give you just a minute to do that. Quiz number 2 will be on Chapter 2 in the class. So we have finished Chapter 2. So it is all just like the calculations and sig figs and dimensional analysis questions that you studied in Chapter 2. That's the entirety of Chapter 2. I put 10 questions up there. I made them all worth 1 point. The questions are split between it will randomly generate a problem for you and it will randomly generate numbers for you. So be mindful of the question that you're answering for your retake when you take it the second time if you choose to do so. Because you might read something that says, like, oh, these people are traveling down the highway at this speed and they go this far, or something like that. But those numbers will change each time you generate a question. I've generated like thousands of different possibilities. And those questions will read the same, but the numbers will be different. Other questions, you'll just get an entirely different question for the second time, and it'll be similar. There is a lot of math, so I have extended the time limit for Quiz 2 to 60 minutes instead of 45. That being said, you still need to work efficiently, and make sure that you're reading the directions at the start of the quiz, because it'll tell you, like, oh, you need to go get this conversion, or have this resource ready, or whatever. I don't remember specifically what I wrote. Other questions? Quiz 2 is due next week, so I didn't put it on the announcements. Actually, what I have to do right now is I want to take worksheet number 2 that we just assigned. So we do want to make a due date for this, and that's going to be next week. So edit. All right, so when is this due? So today's 29th, so we're going to do the 7th. And it'll always be available. All right, and then I can do this. Lab worksheet number 2 due Thursday, 7 May. Oops, I didn't mean to enter there. And then that should appear on the announcements. And I don't have enough space to write that the quiz is due. But that'll appear next week. Okay, any other questions? Let me know. Otherwise, this is going to be a very short stream. I'm going to need to get that YouTube video that I had for the first class that had crickets chirping. Yeah, here we go. That's all I got, huh? I mean, if everybody is doing good on worksheet number 1 and quiz number 1, then that's great. Does anybody have any questions at all? Everyone's able to access lab worksheet number 2, right? If people aren't able to access that, let me know. I should have turned on sharing. Let me see here. Anyone with the link can view. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that seems to be working. Last week I did that, and for one section, I didn't turn on sharing, and they're like, we can't reach it. Can I have permission? And I was like, why do you need permission? It should be available. And it totally wasn't. That was my fault. Yeah, I thought this lecture that we would have would be more content. I mean, I guess I thought there would be more questions given that we just finished chapter 2, but that is okay if we don't have any questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the title card up. I'm going to do this. If my timer is actually still open. Is my timer still open? There it is. That was from the first class. Hold on, let me clear that. And I'm going to give you 5 or 6 minutes or so. We'll just start the timer here. I'll start the... I'll put the music back on. And if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. Go ahead and type them in. And when I come back in about 5 or 6 minutes, if there aren't any questions, we'll just call it a night. So I'll see you in a bit. I'm signed in on the wrong account. Let me try this now. I had to ban my own account. That's okay. That's my streaming channel, so just ignore that. Anyway, if you have questions, let me know. I'll be back. Oh, yeah, turn off the music in my ears here. Your music fades away because I have a little slider. But mine doesn't. Quiz 2 is not multiple choice. Quiz 2 is mostly fill in the answer for the numerical problem, and then some of them are like little drop downs where you have to choose an answer. An issue that has arisen in Canvas is that some of the problems are not being scored fairly. Like, if you make a mistake, it will just mark the whole thing wrong. So, if you have a low score and I look through your quiz and see, oh, you got 6 out of 7 on that, then I'm going to go back and fudge point scores. So, your scores may be higher than you actually get. The formula questions are auto-graded. And I have put a margin in them so that you should be able to get the right answer even if you round. And if you round in the wrong direction, it should be okay in most cases. But yeah, I do like look over everything just to make sure that it's right. So what you get on the quiz online is the lowest that it can be, and odds are I will add points to people's scores just based on like what problems I see Canvas doing. Because again, this is all new to me too. It's not ideal and it doesn't work how I want it to in like nearly most of the cases, or all of the cases, I would say. I was super frustrated making your quiz last night. It was everything was just fighting against me. We don't need this on the screen anymore. Oops, I want that one though. Ah, I muted myself. There we go. Okay, so if there aren't any questions related to the course content, I'm going to call it here. So we had a nice little 24-minute stream. Thanks for coming by, and if you have any other questions about the content of the lab worksheets, either one, or the upcoming material, or the quiz that you will finish tonight, I'm able to answer those questions over email or on the discussion board once the quiz has been released. And that will happen about half a day after the deadline, so that any people that are late, I can just take their scores. Thanks for coming out. I will see you all for tomorrow's lecture. We're going to finish Chapter 3 and start Chapter 4, so make sure you have those slides handy. Have a good evening, and enjoy your extra time off, and stay healthy.